And my actual eyesight is there. The high drive, deep center. Go, go, go. We're out of here. We're out of here. Say ya, playa.
Just like they drew it up in Hollywood, Caladros, the 3-2, swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! And this is it for good! The Audubon Green Wave are back in the Final Four! A gold pile on their side!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DW Broadcasting's coverage of men's varsity.
From our entire crew, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second round of the South Jersey Group 1 playoffs here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. We've got an instant classic between two familiar foes across every sport there is known to man. It's the Haddon Township Hawks and the Audubon Green Wave. These two play on Thanksgiving Day, if you remember, on the pigskin and on the on the gridiron, but they also have a fierce rivalry in, like I said, basically every sport that there is that can be played at these here Audubon High School complexes. But today is a little different because it's like you've got a 2004 ALCS all over again. It's the Red Sox and the Yankees, but it's not just any old Tuesday in May. It's just a playoff game, because that is what is going to determine who gets sent to the South Jersey Group 1 semifinals. Now, the winner of this game plays the winner of Woodstown and Pennsville, which, let's be honest, out of those two games between this and Woodstown and Pennsville, that's the pound-for-pound better game. Pennsville has a whole bunch of pop guys in their lineup like Chase Birchfield, and even though they're without their slinging sophomore lefty Luke Wood, they've still got a lot of upside. Matt Carr knows what he's doing. And Woodstown is also a big powerhouse as well. They beat Audubon in April 8-3. It wasn't just like it was a fluke walk-off. It was right here at home, and Woodstown beat them by 5 on the road. So what does that mean for Audubon? Well, they've been in this situation before. Last year was the first time since 2017 that Audubon advanced out of the second round of the South Jersey playoffs. 2021 was a bit of a asterisk, if you will, because they were playing up to their competition in South Jersey Group 2 and had to play Lower Cape May and Delsey. 2022, Woodstown struck again. En route to their first state championship since 1991, Woodstown beat Audubon by a score of 4-3. I remember sitting right here on June 4th of 2022. But today is not Woodstown. Today is Haddon Township. And Audubon isn't the 2 seed today. They're the number 1. They are in the driver's seat. And from here on out, they'll have to defend their home turf for at most 3 more games. The semifinal game, the sectional final, and then the state semifinal, which I believe would be at the higher seed, depending on whether they were playing a north or a central school. Those details and those discrepancies and, minute details are all down the road, because they have to get through this first. And they're throwing Gabe McCracken on the hill tonight, who's been good this year. He's got a sub-3 ERA, and he's picked up over 45 strikeouts. But Colin Feely is his match on the other side of the hill, and the freshman has been probably the most consistently good Haddon Township pitcher. Yes, you have Tyler Johnston, but he's got a lower ERA by just about a point in half of the innings that Feely has pitched. So yes, he's got a 3.6 ERA, and yes, he played Audubon back in May in a game that Audubon won 12-0 for Rich Horan's 601st win. But today's a little different. You can lose 12-0 in a regular season game and still come back with the same fire under your belly and the same vengeance that you had from before that even happened. And you can act like that never even happened, because the playoff atmosphere is something different. It's something that just transcends the leaps and bounds and the ebbs and flows of a random regular season game in early May. So today, these two teams are 0-0. On paper, yes, Audubon is 18-9 and Haddon Township is 10-14. But after today, one team will be playing either the Wolverines or the Eagles, and the other is going to be snatched in their talons. We'll go to a quick break as we've got starting lineups and first pitch on the way. Haddon Township is just wrapping up their infield-outfield procedures, and we'll be getting started probably about 5 minutes or so. So we'll see you guys then. Here are the Audubon Green Wave. They take the field for their second round of the South Jersey Group 1 playoffs, and this has been an exciting graphic so far. I mean, these guys have played their hearts out so far. And Gabe McCracken is going to get the start here for game 2 of this playoff run. And, you know, Audubon is the #1 seed, and they are extremely confident, which is a good thing. But if you don't play your cards right, the confidence can turn into just a nuisance. And Haddon Township is certainly going to want to silence that as quickly as possible. They've got Nick Delgazzo as their head coach, which, as we said in the pregame, is one of us. He is an Audubon Green Wave alum, class of 2001, as a part of several of those state titles in the late 90s and early 2000s, you know, in Haran's younger years as a head coach. But here we are with Delgazzo in one of his first campaigns with the Hawks, just his second year, and Rich Haran in his 32nd campaign with 600 and some odd wins in his favor. Let's take a look at Gabe McCracken's stats. Let's see what he's working with in the kitchen here tonight for the Audubon Green Wave. The right-hander, he's been sitting around 86, 87, topping out at 88, and he's been special this year. 2.69 ERA with 42 strikeouts, 38 hits allowed, 15 unearned runs, which might be a testament to how rough Audubon's defense was at the beginning of the season. But we're going to get it started here for Haddon Township with the lefty sophomore, Eamon Sheehan. So Sheehan is going to get the party started for the Hawks, followed up by Colin Revelle and Nick Burns. The 1 versus the 8, the true testament here in the second round of the playoffs, as the first pitch is a ball. And we are underway from the Hank Greenberg Field. Beautiful afternoon for baseball. Not too hot, not too chilly as we prepare to embark into the month of June, as there's a couple of showers that are threatening around 6 or 7 p.m., but we should be all right as it's 1 and 2. 77 degrees here in Audubon with a slight wind of 5 miles per hour out to the west. It'll drop to 72 by the time we're out here tonight. That one's upstairs. 2 and 2 to Eamon Sheehan. 3-sport athlete for Haddon Township. Boys soccer in the fall, basketball in the winter, and baseball in the spring. As there's a swing and a miss. Sheehan is retired, and there's one away. This brings up Colin Revelle. See, the old trick in the book of, you know, having good plate discipline and just waiting until you absolutely need to swing the bat, that's not going to work here. Just because McCracken is so good at effectively just pumping it into the strike zone that you really don't have much of a choice, and you kind of have to be defensive early. As that one's down. You know, like that whole first pitch being down to Eamon Sheehan and not being called a strike, that's a rarity in these parts with Gabe McCracken. There's a swing and a miss, 1 and 2. Nick Burns, the first baseman, on deck as Sheehan went down swinging. And Revelle taps this one softly out toward short, picked up by Wiltsey. Throw across is in time. 2 away. 6-3. And here is Nick Burns, the first baseman, as we take a look at what Nick Delgazzo has in his starting 9 for the Hawks. For HT, it's Eamon Sheehan at short, Colin Revelle at second, Nick Burns at first, Tyler Johnson in the cleanup spot in left field, Kirby Rice behind the plate batting 5th, Brandon Camolda at third batting 6th, Miller the DH, Jan Torno in right, and Cam Spencer in center field. Colin Feely, the freshman, as the starting pitcher tonight, with Nick Delgazzo, the second-year head coach at Haddon Township, as the leader. Outside, 1 and 2. Of course, Haddon Township played Audubon back on April 29th in a game that Audubon won 12-0 as Burns floats this one, but it's caught at second base by Jack Dempsey. Inning over. A nice play to range over the middle and get that one as McCracken gets a strikeout, a soft grounder, and a line out to second base. Could have had a base hit for Nick Burns, but he was denied. We go to the bottom of the first. No score as Audubon's going to look to get those bats hot. Of course, Haddon Township played Audubon back on April 29th in a game that Audubon won 12-0 as Burns floats this one, but it's caught. Tyler Wiltsey takes the first pitch of the first. Oh my goodness. I have never seen anything like that before. They were all sitting down and Bantle coordinated a little chair there. And now these guys are in the bottom of the first inning and we've got some nice banter already. Swing and a miss. Colin Feely for Haddon Township this afternoon. He's coming in here with the second lowest ERA on the Township staff as it's 1-2. 45 Ks, 3.6 ERA, and 35 innings pitched. The only man below him is Tyler Johnston. But he's also at 17 innings left, or excuse me, 17 innings. So he's nearly half of what Feely has. So it's very rare to see a guy with, you know, a freshman getting the reins of the pitching staff so early. But the 2-2 is high, 3-2. Listen to this, 3-2, fouled back. But that's going to get both of these dugouts into it. And whether that sparks some fireworks, I don't know, but these guys are going to be playing tough all night. And, you know, Bantle being the rah-rah guy on this club, for better and for whatever you want to call it, he's really been the big cheerleader on this team. As a fly ball into left field going over. This one's got a good amount of distance on it, and it's going to hop over the fence for a ground rule double. Wiltsey had a home run in the first round of the playoffs off of Camden Academy charter for his 100th career hit, but this time it's what we call half of a home run, ground rule double. And this brings up the Camden County College commit, Charlie Copsetta, the center fielder. Your starting lineup for the Green Wave is led by Rich Horan. It's going to be Wiltsey at short, Charlie Copsetta in center field, Trent Bantle in right in the 3 spot, Joey Slavin at first in the 4, Ryan Zimmer behind the plate batting 5th, Jack Dempsey at 2nd, Nick Caladros at 3rd, as now a bunt by Copsetta misses, and it's 0-1. Heard a very light tink of bat, so Bryce Dempsey in left batting 8th, Gabe McCracken in the traditional 9 spot for the pitchers. So bit of an interesting conundrum here. They're not going with a DH. They're not going with any defense-only players. They're not doing any shenanigans. They're just doing 9 straight, including the pitcher. You don't see that all the time. You usually see a DH in the order somewhere, but there was really no need. So they're letting McCracken bat, and they're doing it in the very traditional old National League style, where you just have your 8 position players and your pitcher. No DH, no funny business. There's a foul ball, and it's going to be 1-2. McCracken got out of the first with a 1-2-3 frame and just 13 pitches. Feely's already at 10, and he's not even finished his second at-bat. Copsetta hits this one to straightaway right. Going over, he's going to have trouble with it, and it's going to drop right in front of him. What are you doing out there? That's going to be a base hit. He just didn't read it. He didn't see it at all. Oh my goodness, a colossal mistake there. Delgado just kind of put up his hands and said, "What was that all about?" I couldn't see the ball either, but where I thought it was gonna land like slightly over his head or like it was gonna hit off his glove. No, it wasn't even anywhere close. And now we've got runners on the corners on what is technically going to be called a single for Charlie Copsetta. Time is called. And here's Trent Bantle. Copsetta goes. He's going to tap this one foul. That's exactly what you want if you're Trent Bantle, or I'm sorry, if you're Colin Feely here. Because think about it this way. You just forced Copsetta to run all the way down to second. Now he's got to go back. it's very subtle, but you're kind of playing mind games here a little bit. You want to make sure that Audubon doesn't get on the board first, because you know if they get on the board first, they're going to have all the momentum. Here comes the throw down to second. It's short, and it gets cut off by Ravel. And Copsetta does steal second after all. Now, a quick score update with the game that if Audubon advances, and if they will play the winner of this game, that one bangs off the dugout, 1-2. Woodstown Pennsville 3-1 in the fourth. Woodstown had back-to-back home runs in the second, including one out to center field off the bat of Rocco String. They scored 3 in the first, and Pennsville got a run back, but it's 3-1. That one goes to the backstop, and it's 2-2. Bottom of the first in Pittman. Shalleck leads Pittman 1-0, another South Jersey Group 1 game. Luke Pokrovsky hit a no-doubt homer to left field at Alcyon Park, at the hitter-friendly Alcyon Park. And Bantle pokes this one into right field. That is going to drop for a base hit. He's going to have 2 runs, and it's going to get past the right fielder. He's going to horse into second base. He gets in there with a double. I'll actually be called an E9, so none of those runs will count as RBIs, but Audubon does get on the board, and it's 2-0. And they did it without surrendering any outs either. A double, single, and an E9 is allowed for 2 runs, as back-to-back miscues by Jack Jantorno have really given Audubon the driver's seat position here. So here's Joey Slavin. By the way, South Jersey Group 2 action. Lower Cape May leads Cedar Creek 4-0 in the 5th. Here's another fly ball to right. This time he makes the catch. Bantle goes to third. The throw is offline, but he gets in there, and there's one away. So Jantorno brings it down after a series of miscues. And now here is Ryan Zimmer, the catcher. Now Ryan Zimmer apparently suffered some sort of muscle injury last week in the last regular season game versus Haddon Heights. But he talked with his team and he said, I'm not planning on playing baseball in college, so this is the last ride. Whatever I end up doing, I'll take the heat, I'll take the consequences, whether that means that whatever ailment I have is worsened, then he's gonna fight through. You know, we talked with Charlie Copsetta and Ryan Zimmer a couple days ago, and you know, he seemed confident that he's not gonna let whatever minor injury this is, he's not gonna let it stop him. If he has to pitch, he'll pitch. He'll do what he needs to do for his team. And he's gonna do what he needs to do, which is an RBI single in the right field, and he falls down trying to pick up the ball, and Torno's just not been having a good first inning. And it's 3-0. Seems like every fly ball and line drive imaginable has been going to right field, and Jantorno just needs a break. He needs a couple of fly balls to go into center field. He needs a ground ball double play. But just for his sake, he needs a rest. And I'm not saying that to bully him or whatever. I'm just saying he has not had a good first inning. 2 miscues, one was scored as an error, but Feely is in a lot of trouble here, as he's allowed 3 runs in the first with just 1 out. And this isn't anything that Haddon Township can't come back from. But considering that across their last 3 matchups, they've only scored 2 runs, including a shutout in May of earlier this year. They scored 1 run in a 9-inning extra innings thriller at Haddon Township in May of last year. Now things are a little different. They were also they were beaten 11-1 in 2022. So this is the 3rd time we've covered Haddon Township and Audubon. We've seen Haddon Township a couple of other times this year in the Camden County tournament with Eastern beating them 15-0. They won versus Timber Creek 9-8 in the Thank You Classic. I mean, this team's had an up and down year, as the throw is going to be short at second base. Tommy Quinn, the pinch runner, gets in there. count is 1-1 as Feely is already at 22 pitches. As now here is Jack Dempsey. Dempsey with a little flow to right center field. What did I tell you? Well, Jantorno makes a catch there, and there's 2 away. So he's been rebounding. But again, I mean, it's just the playoff atmosphere does a lot of things to people. And if you're not ready for that playoff atmosphere, you know, look, Haddon Township was in the 8-9 game at home. They played Buna, beat them 8-1. But there are leaps and bounds between playing a 9 seed and playing a 1 seed, especially considering the fact that the first round of the playoffs was last Wednesday. It was 7 days ago. And then the semifinals are on Friday. Sectional finals are on Monday to 3rd. So you go an entire week between the first round and the second round because of Memorial Day weekend, and then you have to play, theoretically, if you make it to the finals, you've got to play three playoff games in 5 days. That's a lot of heartbroken teams in a very short span of time. And that's what I said before, is that the sectional final is on June 3rd. Here's a little floater in the center field. This could retire the side, and indeed it will. Take it in. But the damage is done. Audubon 7 men to the plate. Sport 3. They're going to look to keep that barrage going on the other side of the ball in the second, as it's 3-0 Audubon. Top of the second inning, this broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 95% of students pass their Harper driving test on the first try. If you or your child like those odds, book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Experience Complex in Pittman, right next to Lambs Road. And as we've said before, and as we'll say again on all DWB broadcasts, we are always looking for small business sponsors. Proceeds go towards my college fund and towards equipment expenses. Really no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. Packages start for as low as $250 for 6 months, including an on-site commercial filming with editing, recording, filming, and script writing, whatever you want to call it. They're done by myself and my wonderful crew. So if you'd like to reach out and join the advertising game, send me an email at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. As he's going to reach out and poke a single in the left center field as Tyler Johnston, probably one of the best pound-for-pound players on this Haddon Township team. He is very deservingly in the cleanup spot, but he gets himself a leadoff single here to start off the second. As we said, Woodstown leads Pennsville 3-1 in the 5th. If Audubon wins this game, or no matter who wins this game, they play the winner of that. And then the other ones that are going on are Shalleck and Pittman. And then second one going on, if my mind recalls correctly, yeah, that would be Gloucester and Wildwood. foul back. 1-2. By the way, a couple more out-of-town score updates. Eastern leads Cherokee 1-0 in the top of the third. And Pittman has tied Shalleck 1-1 in the second inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes, runner on with Johnston as he takes low. Audubon will bat their 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the bottom of the second as they're going to look to keep that offensive motion in high gear. There's a strike, he got him. And Kirby Rice is down on strikes to bring up Camolda. Second strikeout for McCracken as he's got 1 away with a foul ball to Camolda. I'm a little worried about Audubon's confidence, though. I love the fact that they are confident, but there's limits to it. You know, I guess the only way that you can truly back up the confidence that you need is winning. And they're off to a hot start, but I would say it's a little early to break out the ego meters here. Outside, 1-2. South Jersey Group 2 were scoreless between Haddonfield and Haddon Heights in the classic Colonial rivalry.
Stop, Sam. Good stop, Sam.
And actually, Woodstown has extended their lead to 6-1 in the 5th with a 3-run inning. As there's a foul ball, like we said, winner would play either Audubon or Haddon Heights, which, man, it's 2-2. That kind of worries me a little bit, because remember what happened in April? Woodstown beat Audubon 8-3. I guess you'd kind of have the storyline of a revenge game, but that's not guaranteed in any way. 3-2, tight zone. Just a hair off the plate. McCracken at 27 pitches. Feely ended the first with 26. With 3 runs allowed, 7 batters faced. There's a swing and a miss. Now the throw down to second. Hey, got him! Strike him out, throw him out, double play. And in the blink of an eye, the inning is over. Haddon Township had something going for him. The inning is over. We're 1.5 through here in Audubon. 3-0 Green Wave. McCracken at 27 pitches. Feely ended the first with 26. With 3 runs allowed, 7 batters faced. There's a swing and a miss. Now the throw down to second. Hey, got him! Strike him out. Starting off the bottom of the second. That one is down. Count is 2-0 to Bryce Dempsey. 8-9-1 for the Green Wave. Bryce Dempsey, Gabe McCracken, the pitcher, batting in the traditional National League style. As Feely fires a strike. 2-1. Audubon plated 3 runs on 7 at-bats with a handful of base hits. Little tapper up the mound. Over to third. Throw is not in time. He got in there. Nick Burns thought he had it, and that was close. But that is a classic example. He just shuffled too many times. I mean, I don't know what Kamulda's doing over there. He shuffled twice, maybe 3 times, and Dempsey's quick. It's not like you've got a slow poke over at first, so I think that's an ill-advised play right there. He would have gotten the out easily. He had a good throw, but it was a step behind. You can't leave that up to chance. Cannot leave that up to chance by any means. And it's 0-1 to Gabe McCracken, who hasn't had too many at-bats this year, but I think because of the structure that they wanted for the lineup, it kind of forced things to be a little creative. As a bunt, back to the mound, throw to first, is in time. The bunt moves Dempsey to second, but again, that's National League baseball at its finest right there. McCracken in the 9 spot as the pitcher, who's only had 6 at-bats this year, and has only reached base once, which was on 1 single free pass. So McCracken is retired. Dempsey gets to second. They are intentionally walking Tyler Wiltsey. And this brings up Charlie Compsetta. So now there's 2 on. It makes sense. Your best hitter in the order, leading in the top spot, you give them less leverage. Compsetta launches the first pitch, but it's foul. Don't forget, on Saturday, we unveiled the DWB football schedule at 7 o'clock on Saturday, June 1st. From my very own front porch. We're going to have a full panel just like ESPN College Game Day. It's going to be an excellent time, and we are going to have ourselves a blast as we unveil what teams are getting football coverage in 2024 with a huge announcement regarding our football plans as well to lead off the broadcast. You won't want to miss it. Regardless of whether you're a Haddon Township fan or Audubon fan, I'll tell you right now, both of these teams are getting at least 1 game. So we'll let you know on Saturday. You'll be able to find out when. 1 and 2. Of course, not too many of these Audubon baseball players are involved with the football program. Dempsey is, both Dempsey brothers, but they're all seniors this year. A lot of these guys are soccer kids. As Compsetta lined this one past Burns into right field, picked up by Jantorno. The run's going to come across, that being who was that over at second base? I guess that was Dempsey. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, bases are loaded. I apologize. I got that messed up. So Compsetta singled but got no RBI. Here's Bannell. Moves Wiltsey to second and Bryce Dempsey to third. But yeah, a good amount of these guys are soccer players. Tyler Wiltsey and Haddon Twp back in 2022 combined for 70% of Audubon's goals last year. I'm sorry, 2 years ago. Before Haddon graduated in 2023 and is now playing soccer over at NJIT. In Division I play, as this one goes into right center field, that's going to drop for a base hit. Jantorno's got it. 1 run's going to score. A second one's going to go. They're going to go for the runner at third. They didn't get it. Now Bannell's going to get in the second base. He's in there. Everybody moves up. 2 runs come in. It's a 5-0 game. And that moved Compsetta to third, too. And time is called here as Nick Delgazzo is coming out, and I think Colin Feely is done, which is a very surprising thing here. But, I mean, Feely is Haddon Township's best pitcher. I don't know what's going to happen after this, but we'll see what happens. Got somebody new coming in. We'll figure out who that is in just a second. I didn't see anybody warming up, but we'll find out. 5-0 Audubon as Feely is relieved after just an inning and a third. We'll be right back after this. In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Haddon Township is trotting out their new pitcher, number 4, Tyler DeCastro, as he steps in versus Joey Slavin with 2 runners on after the 2-run single by Trent Bennell, who he himself has been responsible for 4 runs, but he only has 2 RBIs. His first at bat, he got 2 runs home on the E9, but they did not count as RBIs because there was an error on the play. So if you take away that error, then he's got 4 RBIs and 2 at-bats, but that isn't really the case. It's 3-0. Joey Slavin. Shalleck and Pittman are at 1-1 in the third. By the way, after the first inning, Wildwood and Gloucester in that last South Jersey Group 1 matchup are tied at 1-1. Woodstown now leads 8-1 actually over Pennsville, so they're on a roll as a fly ball into right center field. Slapped by Slavin, that's going to get over his head. It hits off the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Joey Slavin gets into second base. They've been tearing the cover off the ball. It's 7-0. Audubon with their 4th hit of the inning. I mean, this is not like what we saw with Audubon Paulsboro earlier this year. This is not like we saw walk, hit by pitch, error. There's only been 1 error in the field. Audubon has gotten 7 hits in an inning and a third, which, don't get me wrong, that is incredibly impressive. No matter who you're up against, 7 hits in 2 innings, in less than 2 innings is good. Yes, 7. They have left nothing behind here. 7 runs, 7 hits. Haddon Township with just the 1 hit by Tyler Johnston in the top half of the second, but they're going to need much more than that to make a dent in this game. As a little floater down the first base line, Nick Burns makes the catch. And there is 2 down. Don't forget, we are always looking for high school and college students who are interested in the world of sports broadcasting. If you'd like to be a member and contribute to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting and show off your talents in front of South Jersey's most watchful eyes, give us an email today at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com or send us a message on any one of our social medias, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything in between. I don't think there's much that we don't have in terms of social media, but send us a message there and we will get you on the air. As throw down the second had nothing to it. Count as 0-1. McCracken finished his second frame with 29 pitches. And it's 0-2 with 2 down. Fouled back. Little floater foul into the parking lot, or onto the street rather. That hit somebody's truck, not yours, Vince. Hit somebody's brand new, like a white Ram. Yeah. Those are one of the trucks that the deck lid and the bed are only for decoration. The bed isn't actually used. 0-2. Little floater, right field. Jantorno calls for it, and he makes the catch. Audubon plates 4 runs this time, although it feels like they did less. I mean, they've batted 15 guys in just 2 innings, and they lead very confidently 7-0.
Tommy D's Home Design Center has opened a second location on Creek Road in Belmar, operating in Philadelphia for over 25 years and now expanding into South Jersey. Tommy D's is the place to go for kitchen cabinets, countertops, and cabinet accessories, heavily discounted compared to big box retailers. Stop in, take a seat, and watch as our experienced kitchen designer makes the kitchen of your dreams right in front of you. Tommy D's is the best in the business for quality kitchen countertops and cabinets that fit all budgets. Call us today at 856-210-9504 or visit the new location in person on the corner of Creek Road and Harding Avenue in Belmar next to the 42 on-ramp.
Top of the third, here's what we have in South Jersey Group 1. Obviously, the game that you're watching right now, Audubon leads Haddon Township. Wildwood and Gloucester are tied 1-1 after 2. Gloucester is the 2 seed of this tournament, and they are, as we said, tied with the 7 seed Wildwood 1-1 in the second. Woodstown leads Pennsville 8-1 in the 5th. They've exploded for a 5-run inning, and they are right now on the doorstep of facing Audubon if this game ends up coming in Audubon's favor. It's still 1-1, Shalleck and Pittman in the top of the third as there's a foul ball. 0-2 here.
Let's go, Gabe, let's go!
As it's 7-8-9 as McCracken has faced the minimum so far. To Miller, Jantorno, and Cam Spencer. That one's up and in. 1-2. 3-2 now. He got him. 4th strikeout for McCracken. And there is one away. Swing and a miss. So McCracken's been on a roll. 4 strikeouts, and he has still faced a minimum. As here's a grounder out to second base. Dempsey has it. 2 away. So a strikeout and a 4-3 have defined this inning, as that was a called strike. And it's 1-1. Outside. Now, a quick programming update for everybody that's been asking about our Gloucester Catholic plans for Thursday. If Gloucester Catholic does advance to the sectional final, we will cover it on Saturday, June 1st. However, we will not be covering the semifinal versus St. Rose on Thursday. It just doesn't work with my school schedule. The game starts at 1:30, and there's really no shot of me being able to finagle my way into covering that game. I would have loved to do it, but unfortunately that's just not something that's possible in our cards. Swing and a miss. I'll tell you what is possible in our cards. A great night. He's pitched. He's faced the moon with just 1 hit allowed, and he's got 5 strikeouts tonight for the junior right-hander. We go to the bottom of the 3rd here from nothing.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Dan Wilkins, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Bottom of the 3rd, this crowd has filled up real quickly here as Nick Caladros gets us started. Audubon has batted 7 in the 1st, 8 in the 2nd, and this is their 16th batter. And we're only in the 3rd inning. Audubon has exploded here. 7-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. I mean, even a 1 versus 8 game is supposed to obviously heavily favor the 1, but even I didn't think it was going to be 7-0 after just 2 frames. There's a strike called on the inside corner. 0-1. Tapped foul. 0-2. So yeah, as we were saying before, obviously tough situation with Gloucester Catholic, but their graduation is Thursday night. So that's why the game has to be at 1:30, because they don't really have any other choice. Graduation has to come before baseball, obviously, because not everybody that's playing baseball is graduating. Not everybody that's graduating is playing baseball. So you have to yield to that. I mean, it sounds like a no-brainer, but people are still asking me and Bill Gore and Dennis Barth, why the HE, are you doing this? But it's simple. You start the game at 1:30. Even if the game runs a little long and you've got a 3-hour game, that's a 4:30 ending time. You start graduation at like 7:30. That's how it works. Strike called. But I miss how it was with the public tournaments. I mean, this time last year, on June 4th was the semifinal game. Now we're playing 5 days earlier, and actually even more than 5 days earlier because it's May 29th. You've got the 30th, 31st, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. You're playing 6 days before what you did 2 years ago. And I still will never understand why we had the tournament seasons shortened in this way, because it's bad for pitchers. It's bad for everybody, because now when there's a simple threat of rain, you don't have wiggle room. At least you did in the first round, but what if the sectional finals come around and you've got to move the game up a day because rain is going to wash out the next 3 days? I mean, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but you never know with Jersey weather. But when you have the quarterfinals on Thursday, the quarterfinals on Wednesday, the semifinals on Friday, and the sectional finals the following Monday, and you only have 1 day of rest between rounds 2 and 3, and 2 days of rest between rounds 3 and 4, that's not good for the health of the players. If what you're trying to promote is the health and safety of these high school players, especially during the hottest time of the year, or one of the hottest times of the year, that's not good. Especially when you're holding the sectional final before just 2 years ago, that was still when there were 8 teams in each tournament, not 2. There's a strike, 1-1. 2 down quickly here in the third. That's McCracken trying to help his own cause here. Strike called, 1-2. Outside, 2-2. Little floater, that one's in the right field. There's a base hit for McCracken. Not something you see all the time from him, as that's his first hit of the year. But he gets aboard, and he, as we said, helps his own cause. That was just his 4th career varsity hit. His last one came versus Bordentown, versus St. Augustine on April 27th of last year. Jason Stockland, the sophomore lefty, will run for McCracken. So 2 Ks and a single. DeCastro is up to 25 pitches, but Tyler Wiltsey's up and putting you in a little trouble here. He's going to hit this one into left, but playable, going over, and it's caught by Johnston, inning over. Audubon, after batting 15 men in 2 innings and scoring 7, is all of a sudden held scoreless. We go to the top of the 4th from the Green Waves Park. It's 7-0 in favor of the Green and Gold. Top of the fourth inning, you're watching coverage of South Jersey Group 1 playoffs right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. As we go back to the top of the order, as we said, Haddon Township has faced the Haddon Township has been held to the minimum tonight. One base hit by Tyler Johnston has really been all she wrote. As Sheehan, who struck out his first time, bats again. McCracken with 5 strikeouts, but he is now out of the game. Nick Caladros is in, so timely we were talking about him. A 0.49 ERA for the junior right-hander. He's been lights out this year, and, you know, we were talking about this before the game, but this is probably the best combination you can get. McCracken goes 1, 2, 3. Caladros goes 4, 5, and 6, and if necessary, you throw in a wild card for the 7th, like Joey Slavin or Josh Nolan. I mean, these guys for a Group 1 school have tons of depth. They've got an incredible amount of depth. They're able to mix and match what they want from their team, and they do it incredibly well. As the 3-2 is a swing and a foul tip, and there's the 6th strikeout by the Green Wave pitching staff. One away. As we said, Woodstown is leading Pennsville right now. This is the game that Audubon would be in on Friday. We'll refresh those scores again and see if we have anything for you. Shalleck just took the lead on Pittman. It's 2-1. Or 1-1, excuse me. Eastern leads Cherokee 3-0 in the bottom of the 5th, and actually Pittman just retook the lead from Shalleck 3-2 in the bottom of the 3rd. One ball, 2 strikes. This one's hit into shallow center, but Copsetta is there. 2 away, still facing the minimum. So Woodstown has gotten home, Pennsville's gotten home 2 more runs. Woodstown leads 8-3 in the bottom of the 6th. Here's Nick Burns. He lined out to second base his first time. That one misses. 1-0. Three balls, no strikes. Caladros looking to avoid his first free pass. I mean, that's something that Audubon has been proud of. They've been hammering the zone all night, and when Haddon Township decides to bite, as Burns gets a hold of one into left, Dempsey is there. Brings it in, and the side is retired. We're to the bottom of the 4th here from Audubon, 7-0 Green Wave. Bottom of the fourth inning as Charlie Capseta will come up to bat here. It's time for DWB Trivia Time. Today's question is, who is the only player in Major League Baseball history to record a Rookie of the Year award, an MVP, and a Cy Young over the course of their careers? Does not have to necessarily be in the same year. And in fact, it never has happened in the same year. But the options are Nolan Ryan, Don Newcomb, Clayton Kershaw, and Max Scherzer. And while I first thought it was going to be Nolan Ryan, he has never won a Cy Young, despite the fact that he's without a doubt the game's greatest pitcher. He has never won the coveted Cy Young award. He's gotten plenty of other awards, but just that Cy Young has not been what he got. The lefty Don Newcomb, B, is the correct answer to that one. As Capseta takes down, it's 1-2. Newcomb, who started out pitching for Newark, actually, in the Negro Leagues in 1944 and 1945, had an illustrious career for the Brooklyn Dodgers in the 40s and 50s. As that one's outside, 2-2. Now, Newcomb is not really that remembered of a name because he's not a Hall of Famer, but he had 4 All-Star appearances in 49, 50, 51, and 55, getting the Cy Young in 56 along with the MVP and the Rookie of the Year in 1949 at the age of 23. He pitched 8 years for the Dodgers, including when they moved from Brooklyn to Los Angeles. He moved with the team before being traded to Cincinnati in 1958 and then to Cleveland in 1960. So his career was only 12 years, as that one is inside. It goes from an 0-2 count to a free base for Charlie Capseta. But yeah, Don Newcomb, despite having that honor of being the only player to get a Cy Young, MVP, and Rookie of the Year during the career, he's not a Hall of Famer. He's not somebody that really comes up in your, Friday night trivia questions or whatever, but he only finished with just a hair under 1,200 strikeouts in his career. And like we said, he only pitched in the major leagues for 12 years, from 49 to 1960. And then before he spent 2 years in Newark in the Negro Leagues, as now Capseta dives headfirst without a throw, and he gets in there. Strike was called to Bannell. Bannell has been responsible for 4 runs coming in, but he has only gotten 2 RBIs on the scorecard. Got an E9 in the first and a 2-run single in the second inning. As we said, Audubon, their offense has been red hot tonight. They got 15 batters to the plate in the first 2 innings, 7 in the first, 8 in the second. The third inning was a lot calmer, but now it seems like that offense has been rejuvenated. And Capseta gets down there. As we said, Woodstown leads Pennsville 8-3 in the 6th. If Woodstown wins, that's who Audubon would play if they win in the semifinal round on Friday. A rematch from April 24th. A little floater out to Ravel, and he makes the catch, 1 away. The other scores going around, Pittman leads Shalleck in South Jersey Group 1, 3-2 in the 3rd, and Wildwood leads Gloucester 3-1 in the 3rd. And as we said, Woodstown 8, Pennsville 3, that's in the 6th right now. Those are all 4 games. I mean, this is really a luxury we have in the playoffs where we have score updates live for all of these playoff games when usually we're just picking and prodding through a handful of regular season games. Meanwhile, in the playoffs, all 4 games that are left in the South Jersey bracket are all covered. Kevin Minnick's at Shalleck Pittman, Al Muskowitz is at Woodstown and Pennsville, and then Gloucester Wildwood, the Wildwood Public Schools account, is tweeting their scores. DeCastro at 36 pitches. Caladros finished his first complete frame with 15. Slavin thought about it. Capseta trails off of second, but goes back. Something's going on down here. Just heard a little back and forth there. 1-1 is a ball. 2-1. Last time Audubon played Haddon Township, they took care of him in 5 innings, 12-0. As 2-1 is lined into center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Coming around third, he's going to get cut off, and Copsetta will score an RBI single off the bat of the Holy Family Tiger, Slavin. And it is 8-0 as the Green Wave get their first run since the second. Slavin now with 3 RBIs. As here's a bunt back to the hill. Throw to first is in time. They get the second out, and the runner Slavin advances to second. That one goes to the backstop. Throw to third. Slavin gets down, and he is safe. Haddon Township's not happy with it. I think he just got under it. Yeah, these guys are getting a little frustrated here. Remember, Audubon can technically end this game in the next 15 minutes. I mean, they've got 2 outs here. You've got your 9th run on third. If they string together a couple of hits, they might finish this game in 5. And Burns going over. He makes the catch. So we will at least play a full 5th. And the inning is over. It's 8-0 Audubon as they are still rocking and rolling here versus the Hawks. A bit of a controversial call that would have ended the inning, but Slavin got under the tag. It's 8-0 after 4 here in Audubon.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Tommy D's Home Design Center has opened a second location on Creek Road in Belmar, operating in Philadelphia for over 25 years and now expanding into South Jersey. Tommy D's is the place to go for kitchen cabinets, countertops, and cabinet accessories, heavily discounted compared to big box retailers. Stop in, take a seat, and watch as our experienced kitchen designer makes the kitchen of your dreams right in front of you. Tommy D's is the best in the business for quality kitchen countertops and cabinets that fit all budgets. Call us today at
Nick Caladro, still rock and rolling. Let's go over our schedule for the rest of this week. Thursday will be a rest day. Friday will be the South Jersey Group 1 semifinals between Woodstown and Audubon, depending on if those scores hold. As we said, last time we checked, it was still 8-3 Woodstown in the 6th. And it is 8-3 Woodstown in the top of the 7th inning. There's a strike. 2-0. Actually, the benches just cleared in the Phillies-Giants game over in San Francisco. A couple of fireworks going over there, a couple of fireworks going over here. As Johnston strikes out, the only batter to get a hit for Haddon Township so far tonight. He's down. 7 strikeouts all told for the Audubon pitching staff. Strike called, 1-1. Haddon Heights leads Haddon Field 1-0 at the end of the third in the South Jersey Group 2 game. As there's a throw down to first. In time, 2 down. I mean, obviously, facing the minimum is a lot different than throwing a no-hitter or throwing a perfect game, but a one-hit shutout on top of the fact that he has faced a minimum, you know, you've got to do a little more to explain yourself, but still, that's something to be proud of. You know, you still gave up that one hit, but it's like it didn't even happen, because just a couple minutes later, you had your strike him out, throw him out, double play, and I mean, these guys are rolling. You know, there are 1 seeds, and then there are 1 seeds. You know, like you saw Rancocas Valley lost to ACIT, the 16 seed in South Jersey Group 4, committing 10 errors in the first round game. I don't think Audubon's like that. They're on a roll. They have still faced the minimum. 15 up, 15 down with just 1 hit in between. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 8-0, Green Wave.
Tommy D's Home Design. In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
DeCastro still on the hill in the bottom of the 5th. Audubon just needs 2 runs to informally walk it off, if you will. I don't call it a walk-off if it's by mercy rule. It's a game winner. That one goes behind Caladros on the first pitch. And it's 1-0. Caladros 0 for 2. Fly out and a strikeout. In fact, he is the only Audubon batter that has not reached base tonight. 1-0 is inside, 2-0. That's pitch number 45 for DeCastro. But the story for Audubon has been that early start. 3 runs in the first, 4 in the second. And there's a strike. They were held scoreless in the third, but then they got one back in the fourth. And as we said, they're 2 runs away from winning via mercy rule, which, if you're winning a second round playoff game by mercy rule, then that is a different kind of dominance, if you will. As Audubon will most likely play Woodstown in the semifinal round, which that's a team that can very easily humble you, as Woodstown very much did humble Audubon in 2022. And that is ball 4. Woodstown stranded 2 on. They still lead 8-3 with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Throw back to first, not in time. Jackson Stocklin over at first base. Just missed that one. Another throw down to first. And Stocklin is safe again. There's a strike. 0-1 to Bryce Dempsey. Oh, and 2 now. By the way, in some South Jersey Group 4 action, Washington Township leads ACIT 5-0 in the 5th. Throw back to first, not in time again. And he swings and misses. 0-1 to McCracken after Dempsey struck out. 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. There's another strike, 0-2. So in South Jersey Group 1, there were 4 games of the margin of victory being 10 or more in the first round in South Jersey Group 1. South Jersey Group 2 had 3 of those, as that one is going to miss. Count as 1-2. South Jersey Group 3 had another 3 of those, as that one's up and in. 2-2. And then in South Jersey Group 4, there are actually no first round mercy rules. So that's a grand total of 10 across the 4 public groups. None in Group 4, 3 each in 2 and 3, and then 4 in South Jersey Group 1. But last year, there was only 1 team that had a mercy rule in the second round, and that was Buna, the 1 seed, and they beat Glassboro something like 15-0. McCracken is retired on strikes, 2 away. Well, if Haddon Township's keeping up at this pace, they very well could play a full 7. But right now, they've got their backs against the wall. You've got Tyler Wiltsey up here, and you've got an eerily similar situation. You've got an eerily let me try that again. You've got an eerily similar situation as to what happened on Wednesday versus Camden Academy Charter last week. Audubon needed a couple runs to win it by a mercy rule, and Tyler Wiltsey, for his 100th hit, blasted a 3-run home run to center field to win it via mercy rule. And what do we have just 7 days later? Another situation where Tyler Wiltsey is the run that needs to cross the plate in order for there to be a mercy rule. So this is a very much deja vu situation as the strike is called 1-2, but DeCastro, who has thrown more pitches than Feely had the opportunity to in this in his first inning in a third, he's at 60 now. And the 1-2 pokes this one foul, and it goes into the Haddon Township dugout. Still 1-2. Strike 3. Wiltsey goes down looking, so The deja vu didn't seem to work, but the side is retired. We will go to the 6th here in Audubon. We might not have a mercy rule after all. If Haddon Township can hold them scoreless in the bottom of the 6th inning, then have a full 7-inning game, which is not something that after the first 2 innings, I wouldn't have thought that would have happened. But here we are, after 5, 8-0. Well, Nick Caladros is throwing a little more than we thought we would, at least to some. As Caladros just threw his 25th pitch of his relief outing as Audubon with a slow roller to third. So McCracken takes over at third. It was a simple 1-for-1 swap, which is great in this kind of situation. You can just simply do a 1-for-1 swap. McCracken was on the mound, he moved to third. Caladros moved from third to the mound. You didn't have to make any other changes to the DH. You didn't have to put anybody else random in left field. It was a simple 1-for-1. One guy moves and the other guy moves. They swap. 1-2. But the Green Wave pitching staff have combined for 8 strikeouts. McCracken with 5, Caladros with 3. And as we said, Haddon Township has still been left with the minimum, as that one's outside. Their one hit was a leadoff single in the second by Tyler Johnston, but then he was thrown out on a strikeout, throw-out double play. There's a strike. And it's strike 3. As Miller is down on strikes, and that's the 9th K. Here for this Green Wave staff. 1 out. One-0. Swinging a foul tip. Swing and a miss. 2-2 rather. Little grounder out towards second base. That's going to be stopped. No, it goes into center field. That's the second hit of the night. And it comes off the bat of Spencer. Actually, no, it didn't come off the bat of Spencer. It came off the bat of number... Who is that down there? And that is 18, which is Jonah Sunkett. So they've put in a couple of pinch hitters here. Chase Machini is into the ball game. He was playing center field earlier. He came in the last defensive frame for Haddon Township. But he replaces Jan Torno. Machini replaces Spencer. and Sunkett replaces Jan Torna. So the center fielder and right fielder have been taken out of this game. As it's 2-0. So Sunkett off the bench gets a 1-out knock. Haddon Township loses tonight, they would fall to 10-15 for their final record. As here's one falling away. Dempsey, the throw is high, skips off the glove of Slavin, hits off the fence at first base, and that will allow Machini to go to second base. So they swap one runner for another. As now there's 2 away here for Sheehan. So now it's guaranteed that Audubon will no longer face the minimum unless they throw out Machini on a pickoff move. That would be it. As that one skips, I think that hit off of the umpire's play. Machini goes to third. Zimmer pump faked the throw, but he didn't get it. He didn't let it fly, and it's 1-0. Audubon would get their 20th win of the season with a win tonight, as that one is down 2-0. Audubon last year finished 20-8. They got their 20th win in the playoff semifinal. They got 20 wins in 2022, 22-6. So this would be Audubon's 3rd consecutive season with 20 wins after going 13-7 in 2021, 15-7 in 2019. As the strike is called, it's 3-1. Before then, the last time that Audubon had 20 wins in a season was 2017 when they won the sectional title. They finished 25-5. As a line drive back up the middle, there's a base hit in center field, and Haddon Township is on the board. A base hit up the middle. Eamon Sheehan, the sophomore, gets a little life off of Caladros, and it's 8-1. So Machini came around to score on that single, and this is the first run allowed by Audubon to Haddon Township since 2023. They gave up 1 last year and 1 the year before that, shut them out this year. So Ryan Knoll coming out, I would assume to relieve Caladros. I think they're just pitch limiting him here, especially for the second round of the playoffs, because you want to have your best guns out for Woodstown on Friday. As Caladros is out, Josh Nolan will come in, and it looks like he will be tasked with the final 6 outs. It doesn't look like Audubon's going to get an early ride home, but instead they're going to fight through until the end with a 7-run lead. As Township gets on the board for the first time tonight, it is 8-1 here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Josh Nolan coming in. Josh Nolan coming in here to face Colin Revelle as the Hawks get their first run of the game in the sixth. After being held to the minimum for the first 5 innings, they have finally started to, kind of chisel away on here, but Nolan coming in with a little fresh start here for the Green Wave, maybe to shut down Ravel and turn the momentum, because you don't want that momentum to build into Haddon Township here, as it's 1-1. You've got maybe a tiring DeCastro with 61 pitches in relief, which was more than the starter Feely had. Definitely a tough situation if you're Audubon, because yes, you want to shut them down now, and you want to get them as quickly and easily as you can, but you've got to save your best guys, and you've got to pitch limit them for Friday. As a little floater into right center field, Copsetta judges it well and makes the catch, inning over. Township is down to their final 3 outs, but they are not going to be left with a goose egg tonight. They get an RBI single by Sheehan to get on the board. It's 8-1 going to the bottom of the sixth in favor of the Green Wave. Bottom of the sixth here from Audubon. A couple of clouds rolling over. Probably about a 40-45% chance of rain later tonight, as this one's hit well into center field. Machini going over. Neither of them are going to get it. It's going to drop. Johnston's got it in the left center field gap, and Copsetta, the ball bangs around in the infield. They cut it off to maybe the wrong guy, and Copsetta's got a leadoff double to start the sixth. Copsetta 3 for 3. He's gotten on base all 4 times. As here is Bannell. Got him right in the tush as he fires the bat out to his third base dugout. Ball 1-0. One and 0 at the count. That one skips in. Copsetta and Bannell are both going to advance. There was a little trouble behind the plate. Copsetta on third, Bannell on second, and I'll tell you, makes things a little complicated for Haddon Township. Slavin's already driven in a handful of RBIs, and You'd loop another single as the infield is in. If you get another one, Slavin's already had 3 RBIs tonight. You could drive in another 2 here at least. Down. Ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk. And the bases are loaded. Nothing yet from Nick Delgado, but I know Ryan Zimmer doesn't have any career home runs, but if he were to blast one out of the yard or even clear the bases on like a triple or something of the sort, we'd be out of here, and Audubon would clinch their date with Woodstown. And yes, that is confirmed. Woodstown beat Pennsville 8-3. And it's 0-1 to Castro up to 67 pitches. And a line drive into right field. That's going to drop, and that's going to give Haddon Township a bit more of a climb. A run scores. Everybody moves up 90 feet. Zimmer with an RBI. His second of the day. They're going to run Jason Stockton for the catcher. Bases loaded as Dempsey pokes this one out towards third. It's taken in. Throw to the plate is in time. They're going to go back to first looking for the double play. Didn't get it. But they do save that run by getting the fielder's choice at the plate. So Copsetta is the only run that has scored. Audubon with just their second run in the last 3 innings, which I know that sounds really audacious to say, but considering that they got 7 runs in the first 2 frames, these guys have kind of slowed down a little bit. And it's not their fault. Haddon Township kind of caught up to them, but their early jitters were so big that it kind of dug them a hole that they couldn't get out of. It was more of a canyon than a hole, really. You know, if you give up those 3 runs in the first inning, and then let's say Tyler Johnston's rally starter materializes a little bit, you get a couple more hits, you get a couple more walks, and if you tie the game at 3-3, boom, you're back to square one. But that just didn't happen. That strikeout throughout double play in the second inning kind of killed the Hawks' offense. And again, like, you know, they looked like they had something going, at least in the second inning. Anything can change. By the time you got to the 4th and 5th, Audubon was in such a nice rhythm that there was really nothing they could do. As there's another strike, 2-2. But DeCastro's getting up there. They're throwing him like there's no tomorrow. You know, this is your salvage piece here. If you get out of the inning, you go to the 7th, you'll try to shoot for that miracle, but you're certainly not expecting to use him on Friday, because he just threw his 75th pitch. That makes things quite complicated. So if Haddon Township does come back and stun the world, if you will, there's no chance that DeCastro is seeing the mound on Friday versus Woodstown. And I should say that Woodstown would travel here if Audubon wins. Count is 3-2, but it's 3-2, 1 out, bases loaded. So a ball here makes it 10-1 and gets the game-winning run on third, and there it is. A bases-loaded walk, and Haddon Township's season is 90 feet away from a close. Audubon, for the 3rd straight year, would get their 20th win. Haddon Township, still a very respectable team in the Colonial Conference. They've put up some good fights this year and some great upsets, but they just haven't been able to do it in the playoffs here. As it's 10-1, 1-0. With Dempsey 1 for 3 with a single and 2 strikeouts. And now Delgado's coming out right away. I mean, this is it here. Season's on the line. You get him out, you've got another life, but there's no coming back from this. That run crosses the plate. Tommy Quinn, and your season's over, and you've got to go back to the drawing board for 2025. And Delgado, an Audubon grad, a very respectable coach. He's very nice and has great camaraderie with his players. But I feel like what we see from these guys is just a little different. And Haddon Township playing in a very tough Colonial Conference, and also in the lower division with Gateway and Gloucester and, you know, all the other folks down there, just makes the situation a little bit convoluted for them, as the 1-0 is a strike, 1-1. This broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center. Stop in today, 7 days a week, for the healthiest food products for your pet in South Jersey. 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon. 1-1 is lined in the left field, and the Audubon Green Wave have punched their ticket to the South Jersey Group 1 semifinals. It happened in a little bit of anticlimactic way, but Audubon wins it on a walk-off or game-winning single off the bat of Bryce Dempsey. And for the second year in a row, something that hasn't been done since 2012, Audubon is back in the semis for the second year in a row. An 11-1 final as the Green Wave get 3 runs on the board in the 6th. After a bit of an offensive lull in the middle innings, they scored 7 runs in the first 2 frames and got it home at the end of the day, but they got the job done, just not as quickly as they wanted to. And it's an 11-1 final. Nick Delgado's Haddon Township Hawks fall to 10-15 in their final regular season game, and Audubon, for the 3rd year in a row, gets their 20th win of the campaign. It's a lot of regular season grit and grind, and now they will host Woodstown on Friday in the the 3rd round, or the semifinals, if you will, of South Jersey Group 1. As you can see, some ominous clouds going over this game, but we got it done quick enough to where we did not have to worry about the result. Final time of the game is 1 hour and 42 minutes, as a relatively short one here from Audubon. These guys are running it out, and we'll run out there to grab our player of the game, presented by Harper Driving School. We'll be right back after this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your Harper Driving School player of the game is Trent Bennell, and he did a lot of driving in runs, that is. In Audubon's 11-1 win over Haddon Township, he only had 2 RBIs on the scorecard, but technically drove in 4 runs in the first 2 innings. That first hit was an E9, so that would have been 2 extra RBIs, but 4 runs is 4 runs. Nobody cares if it gets scored as RBIs or whatnot, but a win's a win, and you guys certainly did a lot of that. You know, the only one team in all of South Jersey playoffs, groups 1, 2, 3, and 4 had a mercy rule in the second round. That was Buna last year. And you guys are doing the same thing again. You guys are hot, and now Woodstown is next for you guys. You know your opponent. You know the...
It felt amazing. And like I said to the guy on the Curry Post, I was watching a lot of Luis Arias highlights over the weekend, trying to perfect my swing, because I haven't been struggling if you look at the scorecard, but I've been mentally been struggling over the fact, and it's been hard on me because I haven't been hitting the ball as I usually was hitting earlier in the season, but I've been working on it all week. We had a week off, which is it was awful having the week off. Yeah. But I watched a lot of Luis Arias highlights and just worked with Coach Noel driving the ball the other way every single time I was at the plate. It was good just to go out there and do exactly what I did in practice and just bring it to the game.
Luis Arias, huh? That's a bit of an interesting. Never really thought of it that way, just because a lot of people, I think, when they look at what swings they want to replicate or what swings they want to model certain pieces after, they're going to look for the superstars. Yeah. They're going to look for the Aaron Judges and the Mike Trout. But not every swing has to be like that. Yeah. Your stature is a lot closer to his. You've got a similar build and you've got a similar swing from the same side of the batter's box. That is really smart. But yeah, definitely the week off was not good. I mean, you can't schedule around Memorial Day weekend, but remember 2 years ago in your freshman year, June 4th was the quarterfinal game. We're now playing it a full week in advance this year. Everything's crammed in.
Either start the playoffs after Memorial Day weekend or start it a week ahead of Memorial Day weekend, where you can go finish it the Monday after or Tuesday after Memorial, whatever. Today could be the finals.
I mean, this is definitely the question that a lot of people are asking, because Caladros pitched 3 innings, McCracken pitched 3, or I'm sorry, Caladros pitched just under, but Nolan also was in there as well. For your guys' combination, you've got to do that all again on Friday, and you guys are pitch limited. So that's the question everybody's asking, is that 2 years ago, the quarterfinals was in the first week of June, and now it's not even the end of May, and we're already playing it. So yeah, write that down and send it to the state, I'll tell you that. But, I mean, you guys have just been incredibly red hot lately. You know, we were talking here around this same time last month where you guys were struggling. You guys had a rough start to the season. You guys were on national television with that hidden ball trick versus Delsey that over 20 million people saw, and people are starting to panic. You know, when the Yankees are under 500 for the first time in 30 years, everybody starts to panic. But now you guys rebounded from that, and this was your 20th win of the season for the 3rd straight year. You guys have rebounded really well from that. What do you think was the driving factor in your guys' turnaround from the start of the season to now?
I mean, just getting yelled at practice, honestly. I mean, we kind of just we were slacking off a little bit in the first half of the season, and then I mean, just Coach Noel coming back brought a lot of energy, and he came in first day, was screaming at us first day. Coach Rand came in yelling at us, but it's just a lot of energy. Everyone just getting fired up. I mean, it's just everyone just when we play together and play with energy like we played today, with a lot of energy. I mean, the first round you weren't here, but it was a rough game. It was a rough start to the game, and there wasn't a lot of energy. And let's just say we got a little bit ripped into after that game, but then we responded very well, coming out practice the next day and coming here today and just bringing energy from the start of the game. Even infield, outfield was amazing.
Oh yeah, the infield, outfield that was louder than a group of cicadas on a July night, I'll tell you. I mean, you guys are incredibly pumped up, and I mean, first pitch of the game, the dugout was a little quiet, and then you came out from the on-deck circle, had that big roar, everybody's going up against a fence like a bunch of zoo animals. Yeah. How did that come about? Because that was one of the best coordinations of a celebration I've ever seen.
So I think I got told by Dylan Tassi, I guess they did it when they were in high school.
Yeah.
But I think Coach Noel and Coach Rand all wanted it to happen. So I mean, and obviously they were all right, we need someone to get up and do it. And I was okay, well, I'll
there's no better candidate.
I was I'm going to do it because there's no one else that's going to do it. I mean, there would be other people that do it, but they wouldn't do it as good as me, no offense to them. I mean, I'm the loudest guy, so I'm going to do it no matter what. So I took that. I was like, oh, I'm going to do it no matter what. I'm doing this.
That's great. That is excellent. But you guys right now, for the second year in a row, and this is the first time in 12 years that you guys are in the semis for back-to-back years. You remember 2 years ago, Woodstown beat you guys in the second round. 2021, Delsea beat you in the second round. You guys are finally hitting your stride in a long-term way. It's one thing to win 20 games in a season, but if you can't advance in the playoffs enough, then what is it all for?
Yeah.
But you guys are now playing Woodstown on Friday here. If you remember, this time last month, Woodstown beat you guys 8-3.
Yeah.
But tomorrow is a different day. Tomorrow is a brand new day, and both teams are basically starting 0-0.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, with last month's loss in mind, and the new and rejuvenated mindset of this team, how are you guys feeling going into Friday?
I mean, all of our pitchers. We have all of our pitchers. Nick, Zim, and Gabe all can come back. All stayed under 50 pitches, which means they can all come back. Which means they can all come back, and they all have 100 pitches too, because you need to stay under 150 for the week.
Right.
So they all have 100 pitches to be able to throw for Friday. So we have all of our pitchers. I mean, everyone just fired up, and honestly, like, it's a regular season thing. When you look at your stats, you don't want to say it's selfish in the regular season, but you're sitting there staring at your stats in the regular season. Everybody's in their heads. Everybody's looking at the stats like, oh, this stinks. If I go 0 for 4 and I win, I don't care. It's the playoffs. You move on to the next round. You win. It doesn't matter no matter what. Like, it's like, if I go 0 for 4, we win. That's a good. I don't care. We won. We won the game. So that's like, everyone has that mindset right now, which is why we're starting to get hotter, because everyone has that mindset. Yeah! Let's go! Let's go!
I knew that was going to happen. I saw the bucket. I thought it was full of Gatorade for a second. I got scared.
All right. So everyone just has that mindset of just going out there and just having fun and just playing as a team, and whatever happens, happens. And if we win, we win. If we lose,
well, you got a long off season, but this time no more Gatorade. How about this?
don't mess with the snowball. It's hot. Yes, sir. Gabe, you're out to be in here.
I was going to say, Gabe McCracken being in an interview, I never thought I'd say that in the year 2024, but thank you, Trent Daniel, very much for your time. We're going to do the usual tradition. Well, you got to sign the scorecard. Were you a player of the game this year yet? I don't know.
In a scrimmage when I went 4 for 4.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we started anywhere. Just make it big on the bottom there.
Just my name or last name, too.
You could sign it. You could do whatever you want. Think about if you're going to college someday, you're going to be signing for a couple of people in the grandstands, a couple of kids. That's how it's going to look. And there's one of our graphics crew guys, Gavin Van Relly's over there. But this team is loose. There's Trent Banel. That'll be all for us tonight.
We hot, baby, we hot.
Yes, they are. Audubon, for the third straight year, gets their 20th win of the campaign, and they'll play Woodstown on Friday, 4 o'clock, from this old place, Hank Greenberg Field. Everybody's loose, myself included, the team as well. Everybody's loving it right now. Our next broadcast will be Thursday in South Jersey non-public B action between Holy Cross Prep and Bishop Eustace. 4 o'clock start from Pennsauken, and then we'll be back here on Friday. Don't forget, on Saturday is the football schedule reveal show, 7 o'clock on Saturday. And yes, Audubon is getting a football game this fall, but on Saturday you're going to have to wait for us to tell you when and where. From everybody here at DWB, our social media coordinators Brandon the Kagerland and Keely Curran, our graphics crew Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Liam Nolan, my producer Vincent Vogt, I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you tomorrow over in Pennsauken. Have a good one, folks.